My client Charlie made $15,000 and booked in 12 new leads from 2 YouTube videos. Another client of mine, Adrian, made $5,700 from just 3 YouTube videos, all combining under 300 views. If you're an agency owner burning out from cold outreach, I'm going to show you the exact system to turn your expertise into a hybrid client acquisition machine. Videos that generate inbound calls and also make your outbound 10 times more effective. Because this is not really about building an audience, it's about building leverage. So let's talk about why you've been thinking about YouTube completely wrong. So most YouTube advice, it's built for creators trying to make ad revenue or get sponsorships, and that model requires hundreds of thousands of views and algorithmic luck. It has nothing to do with closing $5,000 to $15,000 contracts with business owners. But the B2B reality is YouTube is a sales asset, not a media company. You do not need millions of subscribers. You need the right 50 to 200 people to watch your content. And you really need to think of it like having your best sales pitch recorded and working 24/7. Because if we're creating these videos to get people to book calls with us, that's literally what it is. It is a sales asset. And these videos pre-qualify your prospects, demonstrate your own competence, and it builds trust with your viewers before you guys ever speak one-to-one. When somebody books a call after watching your videos, they're pretty much 80% sold, and that's on the low end. So let's talk about the ecosystem versus funnel model. Most people think you need one viral video to funnel people to your offer, but the reality is you need a library of 8 to 15 videos that prospects can consume non-linearly. They'll watch 3 to 5 videos over 2 to 3 weeks and pretty much self-qualify themselves into buyers. All right, so now let's talk about how this ecosystem actually works. It's a 3-layer content architecture. And it starts at the top of the funnel. This is the awareness. This is where you're making broad pain point content. These videos attract cold traffic who don't know who you are yet. Topics like why most agencies struggle with lead flow or the outbound problem nobody talks about. The goal here is to get them to say, this person understands my situation at a core level. They feel seen after watching your content. They're like, holy fuck, this person gets it. Middle of funnel is where you show off your methodologies, your frameworks, your solutions. And this is where you can demonstrate your system without giving away the implementation. Now, what that means is information is accessible everywhere. There's a million YouTube videos of people giving out the same info as you. So we don't want to gatekeep the info. What we're really selling in these videos is accountability, implementation, and speed. So an example video you can create with this is how I'd structure a YouTube client acquisition system. Similar to this video. This video is a good middle funnel style video that you can copy for your own content. But the goal here is to prove you have a repeatable process, not just lucky case studies. And then that brings us to our bottom of funnel style videos, which is the case studies and the specific results. So deep dives into client wins with exact numbers and timelines. So an example of this is how client name added X revenue with. Now the goal here is to remove all remaining doubt and prompt a calendar booking. And the reason this works better than traditional funnels is because it doesn't start off in order. Like your viewers don't always watch top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel. Your videos hit them wherever they are and they end up binge watching the ones they resonate with. So someone might start at a bottom of funnel case study video, then watch 3 middle of funnel videos, and then book in a call with you. So this ecosystem we're creating here educates and nurtures your prospects without you having to manually follow up with them. And if you make good content, they're going to keep continuing watching and just nurturing themselves further. And now with this information, it's all very simple. You should be able to watch my content and know how to apply this to your own business. But a lot of you watching it will make every excuse in the book as to why you're not creating content yet, whether you don't have time or you don't have the skills to do editing and thumbnail design. If you know YouTube should be a big part of your client acquisition funnel, then book a call with me. We'll handle everything for you. So all you have to do is record footage, upload it to me, and my team takes care of everything else. And as you see for Adrian and Charlie, they're absolutely printing from content. So if you want this same system built for you, just reach out to me. We'll have a conversation and see if it makes sense. But now let me show you how the actual conversion framework actually works. So this is how we turn these 50 to 300 views into $5,000 to $15,000 clients. So this is the math that makes it work. So say you get 200 views on a middle of funnel video and your ICP is specific enough, maybe 30 to 50 of those are qualified prospects. If 10 of those watch 2 to 3 more videos, you've got a highly educated lead. And if 2 to 3 of those out of the 10 book calls with you, you only need one to close to make between $2 to $15,000 depending on what your offer is. Now, outside of good packaging, meaning thumbnails and titles, your hook to offer alignment is absolutely everything. Your video hook must immediately filter for your ICP. So for example, if you're doing 20K a month but exhausted from outbound, everyone else stops watching. And this is a good thing because if you only want to work with prospects that are doing 20K or more, this is going to disqualify anyone who's not hitting that number. And we want the wrong people to leave within the first 15 seconds and let the qualified prospects continue watching. And now with your CTA positioning, you don't want to make your CTA sound like an ad. You want to make it sound like the natural next step. So you're giving away your solution, and that solution is a natural bridge to your offer. So use the hook gap bridge formula. So you've learned X, but implementing Y is hard. Here's how I help. And you want to place it around 30% into the video, then reinforce it at the end. Very similar to what I just did before we went over this section. And the reason you want to place it here is very simple. Not everyone who's watching your content is going to watch until the very end. So we still want to make sure we give them an actionable next step before they click away. And here's why low view counts are actually an advantage for you. With 10,000 views, you get a lot of noise, tire kickers, competitors, people outside of your price range. With 200 targeted views, you get signal qualified buyers who match your ICP exactly. And I'd say like the high end of this is probably 1,000, 2,000 views. If you have very niche content and you're getting 1,000 views, you're probably printing. Like my client Charlie got 1,000 views on the video that made him $15,000. So in the grand scheme of things, when you zoom out, 1,000 views is not a lot. But when you're targeting a micro niche community, 1,000 views is enormous and it'll lead to a lot of money. All right, and now let's talk about my hybrid system. So inbound plus outbound leverage, because a lot of people think of YouTube and they think they just upload and then they sit on their hands and do nothing else, which that's wrong. So here's how the inbound side works. Prospects search for solutions on YouTube. They find your video, they binge your content, they book a call. This happens passively while you're delivering client work or sleeping. Charlie's 12 leads came from this exact mechanism, no outreach required. Now, here's how you weaponize it for outbound. So instead of cold pitching, send prospects your most relevant video, a message saying like, hey, saw you're in this industry, made this breakdown on problem, thought it might help. They watch 8 to 12 minutes of you demonstrating competence, then you follow up with them. The conversion rates on this approach are 5 to 10x higher than traditional cold outreach. Because if you think about it, it's pretty much common sense. Someone might see your cold DM, just leave you on red. But if they see your cold DM with a link to your video, chances are they might click on that video. And if you get your ICP to spend 8 to 12 minutes listening to you talk and your content is actually good, they're going to be a lot more inclined to hear you out and respond to your message. All right, now let's talk about the compounding effect over time. So month one, you publish 4 videos, get a few hundred views, maybe one client. And I say maybe one client because if you're just starting out, you have no social proof and you have no existing audience outside of YouTube, you're probably not going to get a client. You have to be consistent for longer. But if you have an existing audience outside of YouTube and you're just getting started making content, you can definitely start seeing clients within your first month. But month 3, you have 12 videos, they're working together. You should get about your first 2 to 3 clients from inbound, at least one if you're doing it properly. And then by month 6, you have a full ecosystem. Prospects are finding you organically. Your outbound has social proof now. So people will click on your video, see you have a big bank of content. You know what the fuck you're talking about. And now you're not just viewed as some scammer in the DMs. This is not a post and pray strategy. It is quite literally architected for scale. I'm going to talk to you about what is actually stopping people from implementing this system. So the first objection I typically hear is, I don't have time to become a content creator. You are not becoming a content creator. You're recording your sales conversations. The content pretty much already exists in your Zoom calls, your pitch decks, and your client onboarding. It's about repurposing expertise you already have, not creating from scratch. The second objection is, I'm not comfortable on camera or I don't have the tech set up. Your ICP does not care about your production value. They care about your competence. They care about if you can actually solve their problem. Adrian's videos were iPhone recordings with very basic editing. Authenticity beats polish in B2B every single time. Think about it. Nobody gives a shit about seeing Mr. Beast edits every 2 seconds when their purpose and their goal of watching your video is how they can make more money. They don't give a fuck about animations flying across the screen. They want to know if you actually have what it takes to help them make more money. So that's what you need to prioritize, not the fancy shit. Now, the third objection is, what if I give away too much and people just do it themselves? First of all, if someone can implement your entire system from a 12-minute video, your offer is not nearly complex enough. And secondly, like I said earlier in the video, all of this information is pretty much widely available. It's really about the execution and the implementation, and that's what you're selling. You're selling the accountability and the speed, not the information. Because you could be watching this video and know exactly what you need to do, but when you sit down to start recording, then have to edit the video to cut out the ums and ahs, create the thumbnail, package it with a good title to make sure people click. You might be able to do that, but you'll soon realize that it takes a lot of effort and you'd much rather someone just do it for you. The more you give away, the more people realize they need help executing it. So you're actually doing yourself a disservice by not giving away as much information as you can to display your competence, to let people know you know exactly what you're talking about and you can implement it for them. So if I were starting this today, here's exactly what I would do. Week 1, record 3 videos, 1 pain point, 1 methodology, so solution-based, and then 1 case study. Weeks 2 to 3, publish them, optimize the titles and the thumbnails for search, add CTAs. Week 4, I'd start using them in outbound ASAP, track which videos drive calls. And then month 2, just double down on what works and add 3 more videos to fill the gaps. So the difference between doing this yourself and having it done for you is do it yourself, you'll learn a lot, but it'll take 6 to 9 months to dial in. Done for you, we handle the strategy, the scripting, the editing, the optimization. All you do is record. For Adrian and Charlie, the ROI happened in month 1 because the system was pre-built. So your next step watching this video is now you've got the full blueprint, you got the 3-layer content ecosystem, the micro audience conversion framework, and the hybrid inbound outbound system. You know why Adrian collected $5,700 from under 300 views, and you know why Charlie brought in $15,000 and 12 qualified leads from just 2 videos. The only question left is if you want to spend the next 6 to 9 months learning this through trial and error, or if you want this installed and running in the next 7 days. If you'd rather have a team who's already done this for multiples of clients handle the entire system for you, book a call with us. It's the first link in the description. We'll map out your entire content ecosystem, show you exactly what videos to create, and handle everything from strategy to the final edit. Let's turn YouTube into your best performing sales asset. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.